Hello, everybody. How you doing today? My name is Tony Rizzano, and this is episode 119 of the world famous University Loved Affiliate Party Podcast. We are coming to you live today. Today is Wednesday, everybody. November the 11th. Do you know what today is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Today is Veterans Day. Hug a veteran, love a veteran. Somebody call my wife and tell her to love her husband even more today because when she was in high school, I was protecting her freedoms. Nah, I'm just kidding. No, my wife is like 5 years younger than me, so we joke around sometimes about, I'm like, when I was protecting you and protecting this country, you were still in high school, sweetie. Okay, so thank me later, but no. Veterans Day is interesting because, in my personal opinion, even though you do, for the most part now, volunteer to join the military, I'm not saying you should give every veteran like $1 billion, but they definitely should treat some of the vet. Now, I really don't consider myself a veteran. Like, I was in the military and everything like that, and I appreciate my time in the military, but it's not like I was in Vietnam or I was in World War II or, I don't, like, I really respect those people, those men. Well, I respect, like, World War II and World War One when everybody had to, everybody in the country had to come together, and everything like that. Like, I respect them a lot. And me, I was in the military for the most part. It was like peacetime, Like, I was in during 9/11, don't get me wrong, but I feel like, hey, like the people that was in the Korean War and Vietnam, I feel like they definitely should get like more than what they got. Like, one thing I will tell you, one sad story, one thing that made me sad, and like I'll give you, no, one example why I got out the military. I'll tell you one reason I was just like, oh no, I can't do it. I remember I was walking. I know we'll get into the program, but this is a great story about why I got out the military. I missed my bus one night. I was going to visit a friend of mine, quote, a friend of mine. I went to go visit, a friend of mine, and I missed the bus, and the closest trolley was quite a few miles away. So I was like, damn, I gotta walk, because back then I didn't think about, like, I'm from a small town. I'm from the country, so me getting a cab, I didn't even think about it. It didn't even cross my mind because it was like the summertime and it was nice and it was warm outside. I remember I was like 20 and I was like, hell, I'll walk. Now I'm like, where's the lift at? I don't want to walk across the street half the time, but so I was walking. Then I met this guy. And he was like, hey, young blood, I walk with you, man. Where you going? I'm like, I'm trying to get downtown, man. He's like, yeah, I'm walking that way. And we got to talking. He's like, oh, you ain't from around here? Where you from? And I'm like, shit, I'm from Missouri. And he's like, man, what you in the Navy, in the Marines? Like, I'm in the Navy. He's like, yeah, I figured you was in one. And he was like, I was in the military. He said, yeah, man, but I was over there. I was in the war, man. I got off bad on drugs, and man, now I got a drinking problem. And he was like, the military don't do nothing for me, man. And I was just like, damn, they don't. He's like, nah, man, chew me up and spit me out. And I was like, oh. And he's like, I don't know. He said, do 20 years? I don't know if you should. And I was like, oh, well, damn, should I? And I was like, because I was already on the fence. I was like, should I stay in for a long time or should I get out? And just sort of talking to him and walking to him, and I was like, yeah. But what did it for me, but he was a nice guy too. I hope he's all right wherever he's at, or if he's still living. The funniest thing about him when he was walking, I remember he was like, I was like, I'm kind of thirsty. I was like, you want something to drink? He's like, I sure appreciate it. And then I bought him like a 40 ounce, I think. 40 ounces, either a 40 ounce or 24 ounce, one of the two. And I remember he drank it, and then he walked some more. And then he's like, young blood, I gotta go to sleep. He said, but good luck to you, though. I say, thank you, I appreciate you. And he sort of disappeared, and that was the last time I saw him. But that was fun. But what really made me say, you know what, I'm getting out the military, what really did it for me, I remember I was standing watch. And when you have to stand watch in the military, you, like, I was in the Navy, so I was on the pier. I was on I was standing out there in the boat. Not the boat, but it was like a little gate before you got to the boat. It's hard to describe, but But I'm standing out there, and I remember it was the guy, he was walking back and forth, and I was like, yeah, he all right? And I was like, hey, man, what's going on with you, man? You all right? He's like, yeah, man, I'm all right, I'm fine. And he's like, I can't believe this shit. And I was like, what's going on with you, man? He's like, I'm getting out in 2 weeks, but what the F? And I'm like, oh, man, what's going on? He's like, my wife wants a divorce all of a sudden. And I was like, oh, that sucks, Of course, then I had never been married, so I'm like, oh, that sucks, I guess. And he was like, I was like, oh, that's too bad. And he's like, I'm not worried about that part. He said, the part that sucks is I got to give her half my effing retirement money. And I said, do what? And he said, I've been in California the whole time I've been in the Navy. He said, and when you're in California, after a certain while, you got to give your wife like half your effing pension. And I said, you do? He said, yes. I said, he said, so I've worked 20 years just to give this woman half of my effing pension money? And I said, I'm out. I said, I'm not doing that. That sounds terrible. And that was put me over the edge. I mean, of course, you didn't have to twist my arm that much. I was already leaning up towards getting out, and I was just like, whoo, that is good night, Irene. I'm done with that, But he made me laugh, but also I was like, I feel bad for Buddy, And I was just like, oof, I can't do it. But, I'm not trying to badmouth it, but being a veteran is cool. Being in the military was cool. I mean, it definitely had its, like, fun times and everything like that. And you meet, because, of course, as you well know, I'm not from, like, Chicago or Atlanta, anything like that. I'm from a town of, like, 3,000 people, so those people, and most of the people in that I was related to, so my friends were basically my family for the most part, That I didn't mind. I had a couple of friends that wasn't family, but you sort of forced. It's not like, hey, like now, me and my wife, we have a child in Atlanta. They're gonna go meet all kind of people, so they can actually pick. They can pick sort of their friends who they want to hang around. And you grew up in a town of 3,000, you ain't picking shit, okay? This is your friend. This is it. I don't have a car. I don't have where to go. We just gonna have to find something we like in common, and we just gonna have to hang out. We're gonna have to be buddies until we can get on up out of town. But yeah. So the military, I got to pick and choose who I actually wanted to hang around. So that was different. That was refreshing. Adulthood, everybody, huh? Well, that's adulthood. So that's the best thing. But anyway, I know that was a little long-winded, but it's Veterans Day, so. Shout out to all the veterans out there, man. Shout out to everybody serving. Shout out to everybody that has served. The people that have supported them. Not because it takes a village, So, for any husband, any wife, anybody that has supported the military, been around the military, you are greatly appreciated. And, yeah, that's it. And if you ever want to see some real... some real gung-ho military people, go to the VFW. Go to the VFW. My parents go to the VFW because they like to go to bingo. I mean, I've definitely talked about this in a podcast. My parents, they like to go to bingo. They like to go to the VFW. I always get a kick out of seeing the old timers with their little hats and their little, pins and the little, whatever war army they was in, whatever war they was in. It's always fun and kind of entertaining. But anyway. That's that for the veteran thing. Next year I have a better story. I got a few stories, but next year we'll have a better story maybe for Veterans Day. All right, but we'll get to the main subject at hand right after you get to hear this great commercial about starting your own podcast with Anchor. Okay, everybody. All right, everybody, welcome back. Now, today we are going to talk about how long should you ride out your idea? How long should you keep going in the direction you're going? Now, the reason I bring this up is because, of course, last week we had our presidential election, and now let's move past the presidential election. It doesn't matter about who won, who lost, whatever. But what got me to thinking about how long you should go with the idea. It got me to thinking about the people that are in the Trump, not people that are in the Trump campaign, the Trump presidency, people that are involved. Because I read different articles. Some people are jumping off the boat now. Some people are like Rudy Giuliani. He's going to be on the boat until it sinks. And it's just like it made me curious. And it's like, how long should you hang on to this idea? Like, how long should you hang into this affiliate program? I know we talked about this before, but I don't think we have. But it just makes me wonder. It's like, how long is too long? Because another thing, like the New England Patriots, Bill Belichick. One thing about Bill Belichick, he has players on his team, and when he thinks when he's like, all right, they're at their peak, and now they're about to go down the hill as far as their playing career, he will cut them. He says he'd rather cut them a year before than a year after they pass their prime, And so it's like, how long should you hang in there? How long should you wait? How long should you, keep doing whatever you're doing? It's just like doing videos. It's like how many of these weight loss videos should I do? And then you might not be getting a lot of views like you like. And it's like, should I keep doing the weight loss videos, or should I try another different video? It's sort of like before Rush Limbaugh became a political pundit, before he became a big time political pundit. Rush Limbaugh was a struggling disc jockey, and Rush Limbaugh changed his character. He basically became a character, and he started doing all this political stuff, and he started making a boatload of money. But if he would have just tried to keep being DJ Rush, what would his career be? Would he just be stuck in like Naples, Idaho? You know what I mean? Like, you come to a point, you come to a time, it's like when to jump, when not to jump, when to change, when not to change. Those are things you have to think about. Those are things you have to keep in mind. It's like, you see these I saw a video one time about this guy named Spencer. I don't know, his last name starts with a C. And he was doing this video about a guy named Mark, I believe. And Mark was doing these videos, and certain videos he was doing wasn't working for Mark. And then he started doing make money online videos. And Mark was starting to get a lot of views from the make money online. So he stopped doing those other videos, and he just started focusing on the make money online videos. See, that's where sometimes you come to the fork in the road, and you're like, damn, what should I do? Stay on board with this that's not working, or should I jump off? And that is the thing that you have to keep in mind. You know what I mean? Like, a couple weeks ago, like I know last week I was like, damn, and for some reason in my mind I was like, you know what? I'm in episode 1, this is episode 119 or whatever. And I was like, am I getting stale? Is this content and is this shit not working? I was like, because the views were getting kind of like low, and I was like, am I doing something wrong? And I'm like, what am I doing? Do I need to? And I was like, should I take a day off? And I really had these thoughts, and I was like, or should I just keep going? And I said, you know what, man, I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna keep driving this boat. I said, because I have to get better. I'm only gonna get better, And I'm like, why aren't people listening? I'm like, you know what? No. I said, the content is good. Maybe I'm just going about it the wrong way. Maybe my titles aren't good. Maybe whatever. And then I was like, you know what? My marketing, I need to up my marketing, because there's so many. Listen, you and I both know. I appreciate you for listening. There's million podcasts out here in the world. You could be listening to anybody on the face of the earth. You could be listening to anything you want to right now. But you're here with me, you know? Well, who am I, Jay-Z? And I appreciate that. And I appreciate that. But, you know what I mean? Like, you come to these points sometimes and you're just like, do I jump off now? And I'm like, hell no. I know me, I'm not jumping off. You know, I'm like, you know, this has been, we're like in month number 4. And I'm like, nah. I told myself I'm going to do this every day for a year. So we're gonna keep guiding the boat. Now, if I was doing like, oh, this is the podcast for cats, and nobody was listening, I might be like, you know what? I might need to turn this boat around. Now, I know there's different things I need to tweak, different things I need to do, but I'm like, no, I'm staying the course. So this is something you have to ask yourself. You have to really have a conversation with yourself, and it's like, where do I want to go? What's my, you know, like what's my angle? What's the hook? What am I trying to do? Where am I trying to get? Because you'll see it all the time. It's just like I watched this video about the guy that had like, he has like 40 million subscribers. I mean, listen, we always, if I had 40 million subscribers, Dios míos, you know what I mean? I'd be excited if I had 40 million YouTube subscribers. I'm hitting on 4 right now, so. But it's like he was doing certain videos, but then he switched and he started doing other videos, and those videos were getting more views. So he started doing more of that, and his audience started growing. I'm telling you, it happens all the time. Sometimes you have to switch, sometimes you have to change. But it's like, do you dump it all together, or do you just tweak it a little bit? And those are choices that you have to have an honest conversation with yourself about. It's like one of the best things that I ever like the great Stone Cold Steve Austin, okay? I know I've talked about this probably, but Stone Cold was a wrestler. When he was in WCW, he was Stunning Steve. And I thought Stunning Steve was a great wrestler. I liked him. He was TV champ. He was United States champ. But he wasn't bringing in the money. He wasn't top of the card, you know. So he got cut. They fired him. They cut him loose. Eventually he landed in WWF, and he said, hey man, I need y'all to give me a shot. I need you to let me work the microphone. And if I can work the microphone, then I know I can get over with the people. And so they started letting him do a little bit, and little by little. Stunning Steve, he started morphing into this, you know, talkative, beer drinking, everyman wrestler, you know, this hero, you know. And by the time he got out of the business, Stone Cold was the highest grossing, most t-shirt selling wrestler of all time, you know. Like, it's amazing. And when he first got into the WWF, they thought he was just gonna be a middle of the road worker, but no, this guy elevated himself. He tweaked some things. He knew what worked for him and what didn't work for him. And they gave him a gimmick, and he trashed that gimmick. He said, no, I'm ditching that whole thing. He said, no, we need to do something different. So he's a person that said, no, I'm ditching this whole thing, and I'm doing, you know, I'm going in a different direction. So it's kind of fascinating how, like, some people can tweak things. Some people have to completely change, like a Rush Limbaugh. You know what I mean? And some people go down with the ship, like Giuliani. So it just all, but it's up to you. You have to look, and the main thing that you want to do is, when you're doing a business, like, listen, when you're doing a business, you have to think to yourself, am I doing a good job? Am I doing everything that I can do to make this business work? You have to have an honest conversation with yourself. That's one thing that you have to have. When you want to run a business, when you want to own a business, when you want to do great things, you have to have an honest conversation with yourself. You have to say, self, is this working for myself? Am I doing everything that I need to do to get this off the ground? And when you have that conversation, you'll know whether you need to ditch it, change some things, or just say, hey, I'm going down with the ship. This podcast, the material, the make money online, we're going down with the ship. The only thing I need to do is work on the marketing, tell more people about it, figure out how I can tell more people about the podcast. But the material itself, I'll go down with this ship because I believe in the material. I believe what we're talking about. I believe it's going to help people. So this ship, I'm going down with it. There's been plenty of times in my life where I know I've jumped off I don't know about you, but you ever went to a job and you're like, you know what, this shit ain't gonna work for me, and like a month later you're like, I'm out. I mean, it happens sometimes. I mean, you don't have to do it all the time, but every now and then you just know something's not gonna work. So you just cut ties early and be done with it. Sometimes it happens. It's not a big deal. But you just have to know yourself. You just have to know what do I need to do to make this thing work? Because you want the thing to work. Yeah, you can make it work. You have to make it work. It might not work. It might not work exactly the way you want to. You might have to make some tweaks, but that's okay. You have to just tell yourself, am I sticking with it, tweaking it? We going out with a bang. We going down with the ship. Just keep that in mind. If you know you got something solid, go down with the ship. Well, if I was Mayor Giuliani, who at one point I thought was gonna run for president, who at one point, like after the 9/11 attacks, speaking of veterans, after the 9/11 attacks, Rudy Giuliani was like a hero, a national hero, because he handled the thing so well, So this guy could have ran for president after that, But 19 years later, he decided he's going down with he's going down with the ship. And it's not that he's lined up with the president that lost. It's the way that they are handling the loss that is definitely just making Mayor Giuliani look even worse. It's like, bro. At one time you like one of the most at one point you were the best mayor in the world. And now you hitch your wagon to this guy. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, politics, they hitch the wagon to different people. But it's like, you're going down in that ship? Like, that ship's on fire, bro. Like, jump off. And that's how you have to think about yourself. When you hit your wagon to certain people, it's like if you sign up to be an affiliate program, you're like, and you find out your affiliate. It's like, no, I'll give you a better example. When I first got started, I saw this guy online, and I was like, oh, this guy, he knows what he's doing. So I bought one of his products. It was $7. And then the more I listened to this guy, and I said, you know what? This guy seems kind of shady. I don't know if I should listen to this guy. And then I just got to thinking. I said, do I keep going with this guy, or do I say, nope, that's it? I jumped off the boat. And then 3 to 6 months later, kind of find out this guy got arrested for like harassing a woman, stalking a woman, or something like that, something crazy. And then you never heard from this guy again. So you imagine if I'd gave this guy like more of my money. Like, the first course was $7. The next course is gonna be like $30, and I think the next course is gonna be like $300, $500, $600. And I didn't have a lot of money then. So you imagine if I would have hitched my wagon to him, I would have been effed, right? So you have to think about it like that. That's it for today. Just, take a deep look. Take a deep breath. Take a look at yourself. See where you're at. See if you need to ditch it. Tweak it. Or just ride that thing on out, huh? Like my YouTube channel. I'll give you another example. My YouTube channel wasn't working. Ditch it. Don't ditch the YouTube channel. Tweak it. Now, I haven't tweaked it yet. I haven't came back to it. But we're going to tweak it. We're going to do different things. And we're going to make it work. That's it. So, But the videos I was doing, I'm definitely ditching those. We're not gonna ditch the channel, but the videos, ditching them. You know, just sitting there talking in front of a camera, nobody wants to see. Nobody wanted to see that. So we ditching that idea. And now I'm gonna come back and do different things to make the videos, more fun and everything like that. So that's that. Think about that during your business. Think about that. But I've talked long enough. This has been a long episode, but I hope you enjoyed it. And like we said before, Happy Veterans Day. Shout out to all you veterans, everybody. And we will talk to you tomorrow. And as always, everybody, peace.